Welcome to Beyond the Lines! It's time to finish part 2 of this painting in the Outlander coloring book. And today I'm gonna work with a little bit more of those watercolor pencils and also put colored pencils on top to, well, get those soldiers to be in the foreground. Join me and see what I do there. And there we are again. Pretty much where I left off last week. What I want to do now to move forward with this particular piece here is paint all of the horses. What I'm going to do for pretty much all of the soldiers now is not gonna shade. I'm just going to take one single tone of color per section, so say the hat, the face, the hair, the musket, the horse's body, things like that. And I'm gonna shade with the colored pencils, the polychromos, later. So what I want to do now is start with the horses. So I want different kinds of tones for the horses. I want a dark sepia. I want the 280, which is here already, is it? Yeah, here it is, the 280, I want that. And I think I want the 283, which is burnt sienna. These are enough. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horses. I'm good to go there. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm also gonna take, let's see, no, I actually already have that tone. Hold on, haha, gotta change things. So I'm going to take walnut brown, burnt umber, and burnt sienna, these tones for the horses, and the dark sepia for the hair, so the mane and the tail and all of that. Then I need a warm gray tone, a beige tone pretty much. 271 maybe, let's see. Yeah, 271 is perfect for the hooves. And I'm going to color them pretty much solid. Again, I'm going to have details and shading and everything done with the colored pencils. So I'm just quote-unquote base coating all of the things now moving forward. So let's see, the horse here is gonna be a walnut, because I think that would be quite sweet. Having a very light touch when coloring. And just going forward, giving this horse some color there. Gonna have to be careful where to put the color. Don't want to color things that are not horse, but maybe the soldier or the saddle or anything. So, boop. There's some horse. And there is some more. I need the dark sepia for the hair. And that's that. I'm going right in and liquefy the pigment there. Not gonna color all of the horses first, because you see, I would smudge things maybe. It's way better for me to go horse by horse in this case. Again, I'm going in ovals with my brush. Not gonna liquefy the hooves yet. I have to clean my brush first. So going around the hair for now. Well, do that in a second, but I don't want the sepia to smudge into the walnut too much. Just gotta be careful there for a minute. It's totally fine. Now for the dark sepia. And front part of the mane too. There we go. Cleaning my brush, and now I can liquefy all the pigment at the hooves all in one go. You can see the light warm gray, only very little, but that's fine. I mean, those parts of the horses are way lighter than other parts. There we go. The next horse, I also want, well, that's the sepia. Want this to be a burnt umber. And I'm doing pretty much the same thing as I did before with the other horse. Putting down a good amount of pigment there, but not too heavy. I also choose colors here, or I did choose colors here for the horses that I could very easily shade. So I didn't go with black, for example. I didn't go too dark because I need some wiggle room to shade with the polychromos later. So now I have to see which horse is which. Oh, there's actually a sixth horse. Okay, so you are here. Here and here, that's your body. There's your leg. The other leg is here.
And some sepia for the mane again. And some for the tail. And in with a brush. And I'm going to color all of the horses pretty much the same way. Some of them are going to be the burnt sienna, some of them are going to be burnt umber. But that's pretty much all that's different. The technique or the way of putting down pigment is gonna be the same, and I'm also gonna, well, liquefy said pigment the same way. So I think this is a good spot to have a time lapse going on, just to save us some time so that I can have some more time to show you the polychromos. So here goes the time lapse. Horses done. Now I need I actually wouldn't need a black. Would I just go with colored pencils? But I'm working with multiple layers here, so I'm going a bit lighter. In this case, Payne's Gray for the horsey stuff here. Don't know the English word. In German, it's called Geschirr. But that part here for the horses. Same goes for the boots. They're gonna be black, but I'm gonna have them Payne's Gray for the watercolor part, because again I have to go lighter than I actually want to go. I also take the cold gray, the cold light gray for the musket, for the metal thingy. There's nothing there. Okay, so again Payne's Gray on the boot of the soldier. I'm gonna use some gel pens later on to put in some shine with the metallics and stuff. That's one thing that I'm not liking too much with the colored pencils is the metallic colors. But for that, I can easily go in with gel pen and get the job done. This part here. Musket. Another musket, and another one, and another one. Because why not? Okay. I'm just hoping the amount of pigment that I'm putting down here is not enough for me to smudge things. Otherwise I would have to go horse by horse by horse again, but I kinda don't want to. Yep, there's another little bit of a musket. This part here. This one is Payne's Gray. This is a light gray. With those tiny lines, I really have to be careful to put pigment down only where I want it to go, nowhere else. All right, I think that should be that. And I'm going to start on this side this time. So just to make sure I don't smudge too much. Hey, that rhymes. Smudge too much. Number one. Cleaning my brush, and number 2. First all the light gray, then the Payne's gray. By using watercolor pencil as a base coat here for these soldiers, I'm actually cutting working time in half pretty much, because it is way faster to actually have a watercolor base coat and then quote-unquote just shade with colored pencils. If you only do colored pencil work and layer things up, you will probably need a third of the time longer, just because, well, you probably won't be finished with 2 layers of color, and you can be when you have the watercolory look and the watercolor tooth on the paper, and then just put in details. And oop, I forgot that part is gray too, Payne's gray. When you want to have the watercolory part like here, that look, if you want that, and you go in and shade and add details on top with colored pencil, that's actually way faster than going with watercolor, with colored pencils from scratch, you know, it just takes longer. It's just another thing that I really like about this style of doing artwork, and I had forgotten to liquefy the mane. There's a musket, there's a musket, there's some light gray. Then I can go on with the dark gray. If I would have had the colored pencils only, I would not have been able to be this far in 2.5 hours, pretty much. And the final horse and musket. Next thing I'm gonna do is color the pants of the soldiers and the hats. They're gonna be a dark blue so that I can shade a black on top and it not look flat in the end. So for the dark blue, I'm taking my standard help color. It's the dark indigo, but I also have to have a sip of tea. All right, pants and hat. And the pants. I find it quite, I don't want to say easier, but it kind of is a little bit easier for me to not get overwhelmed by all those little lines and details in a piece of art here that is to be colored. So I'm going section by section by section, color that, and then take the next one. So for example, next is the face, and then it's the hair, and then it's the gloves. And I'm making sure that I hopefully see all of that on every soldier. And have that part done. So don't really see the leg here, so let's just put a bit of blue in and then go ahead, give it some water. And I'm going to have the uniforms be colored kind of like in the show, the Outlander show. Maybe not so much other references or the book. So I liked the mustard yellow that were on the inside of the coats. So I'm going to put something like that in there as well, for example. The color that I want to be popping most in this particular piece is the red of the Redcoats. So I'm kind of going for the muted colors. For everything else, things that do not stand out too much but blend in a lot, like here, as you can see, it's all very harmonic, all very quiet, subtle. I want the red to really pop against these other colors here. That's how I choose my colors. That's why I did choose a warm blue or an indigo, not a cold blue, which would have stood out. So that's that. Well, let's go with the red and have the red part of the coats. Or maybe first the inner parts, the yellows maybe. Yeah, let's go for the inner parts first. I'm going to take green gold for some parts of the uniform. For example, the inner part, like here, that's gonna be a solid yellow tone. This is a bit more difficult here to not get overwhelmed. I'm not gonna take care of the buttons. That's gonna be done later with a gel pen. So I'm just not gonna take care of those for now. Next one is this dude here. So again, going over the lines. And looking for the inside of the coat for these parts. Oh, no, I don't see. Okay. Thought I would see the coat thing on this hand as well, but I don't. Not visible from this angle here. So let's go like this and move on to the next soldier. That he has very little. Boop. It's just one thing, so I can go on to the next already. And do the two soldiers in one go. And the next one. It's very repetitive at this point, but, well, that's how it goes with the uniforms. I'm just thinking, I think I will, let's see, what is this part here? Where does that line go to? Maybe I'm gonna color that yellow as well. You don't see really a lot with this soldier back here. Yeah, maybe just to give him a bit of yellow, I'm going to add that line here to every other soldier as well. No clue what that is supposed to be, but well. Now I have to wait a bit on the uniform to go in with the next bit so I can do the saddle actually, and I think I want quite a bit of yellow there. Because they look really royal. And I'm going to take the Payne's Gray. Am I? No, I'm going to take a warm gray. The dark warm gray and that greenish gold for the saddle bits here. And the sepia for the actual saddle they sit on. Again, liquefying everything right away. So yellow first, then the warm gray, and the saddle. Okay, do mean, the same thing on these others, and that would probably be enough time for the uniform parts to dry. Warm gray and sepia. So the sepia here on whatever he's carrying on his horse. Starting with again with a light yellow. Going in with a warm gray. And then sepia for the saddle. Don't have anything on him in here, so he's gonna be next. Yellow. Warm gray. And sepia for the saddle. And also for whatever you are carrying on your horse. This is yellow, this is yellow. Then the warm gray here, here, here. And the sepia. Don't really see a lot of saddle here, so I'm just gonna have a bit of the yellow and gray down here. Don't see anything there. So, now let me look at the piece for a second, drink a sip of tea, and then I think I'm going in for the faces and the hair and give the uniforms even more time to dry. Skin tone, not too feminine, so I would go with the 189. Because I don't want any blush there. These are dudes. Don't think they have gloves, so I'm putting the pigment where I think the shadow would be. Like underneath the hat, and then the rest I can feather it out. Shadow would be here for the hand. Here for the face. Same here. On the face, on the hand. Hand and face. to dry that a bit. Going back in with the Payne's Gray, if I can find it. Ah, there it is. Payne's Gray for these shoulder strips here. Also for the sword part here. I'm doing that again pretty much to every soldier. On him here we can actually see the musket, so I'm going to take this brown that was burned umber, I think, yeah, should be. And color that rifle, that part here. First I'm gonna color the rifle, otherwise I'm gonna forget that. There we go. Now on to the gray things. Was this bit here. This bit here. I think I have to dry. Yeah, I think I have to dry this page after I have liquefied all of the pigment here. Forgotten to color some, so I'm taking it from the pencil directly. There we go. And I'm gonna dry the page right away, or maybe I can put in the hair and then dry the page, because then I only have to color the coat and like whatever they're wearing underneath the red coat. And I think that would be some ivory or cream colored stuff. Let's do some hair. I definitely want him to be the leader, so he's gonna have gray hair. Gonna be a bit older. So I'm taking warm gray just underneath the head, and I'm pulling out the rest toward the lower parts. Then I'm gonna take sepia dark for this dude. He looks kind of old too, so I'm having him sepia, and back there is another sepia. Let's color them. They need some hair too. This one here is even lighter gray. And then I actually need a blondie, so I'm going to take the golden green in combination with the raw umber. That's not raw sienna, no, raw umber. So let's go for gray first, and then for the blondie. Now I need to dry this. Okie dokie. Now I need a red and like a cream color. The ivory is a bit too light, maybe, I don't know. Use the 271 for the hair. Now I'm gonna go with ivory. I'm gonna have it really light and shade really well later on. So all of the midsections here are gonna be ivory. Oh, there is some dark blue that I forgot in the crotch. Okay, let's color all of the ivory parts. To dry this again. Okay, now for the red, I decided to take the 223. This is a very vibrant red, sitting spot in the middle between warm and cold reds. So the cold ones are here. This is also a pretty cold, but here's warm red. So I'm taking 223. If I can find it right away. There it is, I think. Yeah, 223. So this is a deep red, and I can use, on the polychromos, I can use the 225, the 227 to then shade. But now I'm just gonna go in and color the rest of the uniform red. Once I have this pigment down, liquefied, and the page dried, I can then go on and put in details and shading and stuff with the polychromos. I'm going horse by horse again. I just find that maybe a bit less daunting. Don't know why my brush is leaking that much water. Maybe because it's warm. I don't know. Because I just had the blow dryer there. Whoop. Blowing things again. But I don't want to throw. And you can see here already with this little pigment liquefied and down on the page, this red really pops against all the colors that I used so far. They all are supportive colors. On this part here, the yellow pops most and then the blue. But with the red, even the yellow and the indigo blue, they just go psh, silent in the background, being supportive instead of the focal point. I just realized if Forgot to have a bit of a sky blue here, so quickly, just the sky blue. There we go. Excuse me. Since I'm going on to color the rest of the soldiers exactly the same way, I could actually have a bit of time lapse in there. Now onto the polychromos. This is dry and the soldiers definitely need some shading. I can take this paper off. This is Mr. Jack Randall. Ha! But not now. He's gonna be colored later. I'm gonna put a paper pad underneath this piece here so that I always have a bit of a cushion. Also gonna curl it a little bit back. Now, Like I said earlier, I'm just gonna take care of the horses and the soldiers and stuff with the polychromos. Sorry for the beep, but I'm gonna have a bit of a vlog footage thing going on here. So I'm having my 3 trays, 2 more just like this. And I'm going in with, I'm using the swatch here, the 217 and the 225. These are the numbers that I want. And I'm just using those numbers to, well, and I had the 225, I think. 223. I'm just using that swatch to remember the colors of the things that I wanted. I have to empty my eraser. Okay. Because now with the polychromos, I want something like this. Not too pointy, but not as blunt as this. So I'm only sharpening my pencils when I need them. Otherwise I don't, because why would I? So they're usually pretty blunt in my tray. So I'm going in now. The uniform here of that soldier, I'm using the middle cadmium red, which is like a duller red, to just very lightly, super lightly go in and shade a few things. Now, the watercolor pencils gave this so much tooth, this paper, that I really have to be very careful to be very light. I'm just working with the shadows here with those lines, adding in a bit of detail, just a little. What I'm gonna do with the colored pencils here, just to not smudge too much, is go horse by horse and not section by section. So not all of the uniforms first and then all of the horses next. I'm going from left to right to really make sure I'm not gonna smudge anything anymore here, because that's really something that I really don't like when I do that, and I have to be careful because, well, it's so easy to smudge something, you know. More of the deep red here. I'm taking the dark red, which is the other dark tone. It's a little bit cooler than the cat tones. The cat is a warm yellow, cat red, cadmium. So I'm taking some of the cooler tone here and just a little bit of the tone that I colored this piece with underneath. Just need to have a bit more to have a bit more of a saturation going on here, at least the shadow parts. Shadow underneath the swords. Also here. With the cat middle, I'm going in and very lightly just going to shade a bit more. Then I'm gonna have a little bit of the light tone that I used as a base coat. There we go. These are the reds. Now for the yellow, I'm not gonna take the green yellow that I used to put things down. This is a little too light. I need a bit of a darker tone. Oh, there we go. This one maybe. It's brown ochre. This is what I'm gonna take, yeah, for shading on the gold yellow parts here. On the saddle there's going to be a little shadow up here, and maybe on those whatever ornaments, some here on the horsey. I have some underneath the jacket. The cream I'm going to shade with the dark, the warm gray 2. It would have been the alternative for putting down the pigment, but I think, yep, I like it for the shading color. I'm going to use the same color for the hooves. The muskets. I'm definitely gonna need the black, the Payne's gray, yeah, Payne's gray for the musket. So anything that I had with a lighter gray, I'm going to use the Payne's gray to shade. It'll also be this part here. And the black for the things that I painted in with the Payne's gray. Which means his hair. The hair a little bit. There we go. This strip here. This part here with the swords. Little bit of that horsey's decoration. Whoop. Not throwing things, I really have to be careful. Okay. Not going over the Payne's gray things solid here, but I'm having a few things a bit darker and then a few things I keep as they were. So for example here, just the outside. Could actually go in for the boot now. And I'm just working with the lines that were given to me by the illustrator here, by the whomever. I don't know, I don't remember who actually drew that particular coloring page, but they're all named in the book, so I could actually look it up. Something like this. Same goes with the saddle here, just go over the dotted line. That's enough for shading. Well, maybe underneath the leg a bit. It would also mean here's a bit more shadow. Let's go with the skin first and then do the blue parts. For the skin, I'm going to use burnt ochre as a shading tone. I didn't use, or I don't want to use the flesh tone that I used to paint in things, because that, again, it is quite rose colored and I don't want this to be too girly, too princess-like. They're on the road for a while and of course they get a bit ruggedy there. I want to draw in the shadow underneath the buttons. Now I can go in for the pants, and they are going to be dark indigo and black, just like the hat here. Going to put in the black first. And then the rest is dark indigo. There we go. Same goes here for the pants. In the dark spots, there's black. The rest is dark indigo. On to the horse. I had walnut, sepia, and didn't have Van Dyke. Burnt umber, I think, and burnt sienna. Yeah. So I'm going in with the color I used for the horse. So in this case, walnut. And I'm just going over a few lines here where there's a shadow. And that's the thing that I really like with this particular page here. You actually are told where to put shadow or emphasis on a line by the dotted lines that you get from the artist who drew that. Inside the nostrils, I'm gonna have it black, of course. Also, this is gonna have a black eye. And it's gonna have some dark underneath the mane here. I think that's the right word. The hairy shit, the hairy part. It's not shit. The horse's hair. I think it is a mane. Yeah, should be. German word, Mähne, for this part. Going to be a bit darker here. Also on this strip, same here. Underneath or behind the leg and everything there's shadow, of course, so I'm going to have things way darker there. And for the mane, again, I'm going to take the dark sepia. And I need a white gel pen, a silver, and a gold. Take silver. Do I need a black one? No, I don't think so. So let's start with the gold. I hope the zig Kuretake works, otherwise I do have another gel pen with me. I'm going in with the Wink of Stella Gold, and I am coloring these buttons on their uniform here. And also a bit on the horse, just a little on these circles there. Then the silver has to go on the parts here on the horse. The white goes into the eye of the horse, a little reflection. And maybe a little more sepia down here to shade those ruggedy things here. Oop. All right. I think that's not too bad. I don't think I need anything on the musket or whatever. So I'm going to do the same thing here on the next soldier. All right, now everything about this soldier is colored except for the horse and the hair. So for the hair, I'm gonna take the same thing as I did for the yellow parts here. I'm going to put in a bit of the burnt sienna on top, just a smidge. And then with the burnt sienna, I'm also gonna shade the horse. It doesn't need as much detail as the horses did here because it's further back. So it's actually a little less detail there. but the main parts to shade are pretty much the same. It's very simple. Just go with the lines here, a bit of shading underneath, bit of dark here on the foot, and then on the back behind the boot and everything, just a bit there. Done. Need a bit of black here. This is a little bit too light. Okay. Now I can go in again with the gel pen for the buttons. Silver gel pen for these parts here. And a little bit of white for the horse's eye, just a bit. Oh, it's too much, so I'm gonna use a bit of black marker there in a minute. But first I'm gonna color the final horse. And I'm going to take away the colors that I don't need anymore. Okie dokie. Now it's time to repair that eye, because it is a bit too white. That. And that pretty much is this page. That's that. That's all there is to it. Let me zoom out a little bit more. There we go. Oh, that's a little too much. Let's go like this. This is the Redcoats painting. I hope you enjoyed watching along. I hope you found something inspiring about the way I put down the color here. Maybe you, well, like the way how I make the red really be bright in your face and otherwise be rather muted color, but still have the horses be in the foreground and the rest be in the background. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. As per usual, you can fill it with wonderful words. Also, if you want me to use a certain supply on future Outlander coloring book pages or the Magical City coloring book, please let me know. I'm very soon going to record the next episode in this book. Even if you won't see it within like 2 days, but well, I need your input quite ahead some time before I can record things that you maybe want to see next. Hit that like button, the thumbs uppy if you like this video and want to see more. It's very, very highly appreciated, and it really helps to, well, get some feedback from you guys and see, okay, is that what you actually want to see? I'm gonna go now. Have a wonderful rest of the week. I'm gonna see you very soon, pretty much on the next video. Take good care. Have a wonderful day. See you very, very soon. Have fun. Enjoy. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.